Dear friends, hello. Welcome to our podcast. I am Sofia and I'm a Year 6 student at Ayanapa Primary School, Cyprus. We are a group of students from different countries, more specifically Greece, Cyprus, Romania, Spain, and Italy, working together on the e-twinning program Yes We Do Care, which deals with environmental issues and the promotion of environmental education. Within the framework of this program, it is with great pleasure that we are today interviewing Dr. Aravella Zachariou, the President of Steering Committee on Environment and Sustainable Development of the United Nations.
Hi, Mrs. Zachariou. I'm Nicholas, and I am a student in 6th grade of Ayanapa Primary School. And can you tell us a few things about yourself and your background in brief?
First of all, I would like to thank you for choosing me to discuss with you. It's a very great pleasure for me meeting people and students like you. You are the new generation and the future of our world, the leaders of tomorrow. And I'm really grateful that I am with you to discuss a few things about the project that we are doing, as well as issues which related with the environment. First of all, I have to tell you that my first degree was a teacher, and I worked for 2 years as a teacher. But my passion, my commitment for environment give me the opportunity to study my master course and my PhD on environmental education and then on sustainable development. But it's not enough just to have, a lot of titles. What is important regarding my background is that I work in practice with environmental education issues with a group of students, group of teachers, and I'm working in the field the last 25 years. Starting from the ground and slowly moving to the formation of various policies related with education for sustainable development. I had the chance to be visiting associate professor in many universities, in Aegean University, in Capodistria and Athens University. Now I'm also visiting assistant professor in Frederick University, and also I'm the head of the unit of education for sustainable development, which is the unit that is responsible for integrating the National Action Plan for Environment Sustainable Development in education.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Georgia Kimidou, and I am a student in the 6th grade of the 2nd Primary School of UNECE in Greece. What does your job as head of the Unit of Education for Environment and Sustainable Development involve, and how can it affect the kids' daily life?
First of all, I have to tell you that my job is a very exciting job. Being the head of a very, very popular unit for education for environment and sustainable development creates a lot of commitments. Means that we are a group of people out there working with me, 38 teachers from all education levels in environmental education centers, if you have been there. For preparing tools, educational tools that we use to promote it in schools as complementary resources for the issues that we are investigating on sustainability, like biodiversity, waste, water, forest, consumption and production. Through this unit, we are trying to implement in schools holistic policies that will help your teachers, and also they will support you, they will strengthen you to think more critically and be active in the field of sustainability. As young, as the new generation, what is very important for our unit is to help you and give you all the opportunities that are needed for being leaders in actions that has to do with the improvement of our environment and our quality of life. This is also closely related with the programs that we are developing, and you have the opportunity, many of you, to be part of this, like e-twinning. Okay, e-twinning is a very, very famous program, and I know that you are doing a lot of work. But also, what is very critical for us is to be the agents of change. So for the work that we are trying to do in schools, in communities, in non-formal education, like I said, told before, environmental education centers, we are trying to strengthen and empowering you to be the change and to be the leaders and to be responsible and to demand from us as an older generation to work with you for a better future.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Ricardo, on behalf of Alessandro, and I am a student in the 5th grade of Nino Costa School in Italy. In your opinion, in the last 5 years, has the respect for the environment been increasing or getting worse?
A very tricky question, I can say, because we can see many improvements and many efforts that are undertaken worldwide to protect the environment, not to protect the environment, to protect the planet, and at the end of the day to protect our lives. However, we can see that despite the policies or many initiatives that are undertaken for protecting the biodiversity, the forest, to save the water, to take measures against climate change, nevertheless there are many things that showing to us that we are going back. This is a contradiction because we have a lot of policies, we have a lot of tools, we are doing progress, but this progress is not enough. I will not say that we are getting worse, but what is from my point of view, very obvious is that we have to accelerate our actions and working more intensively to the field of environment sustainability. The progress that we did is a good sign, but it's not good enough to say that we are in the right direction, because saving the planet means that saving our egos or saving our identity and our survival prerequisite, from my point of view, more radical and dynamic actions that will engage all of us, each one of us. This at the moment we are trying to do it, but we need more powerful and more decisively actions from the governments, from the civil society, from the organizations, from each one of us, based on the field that is working on, in order to say that we can have a hope. Of course, I'm not a pessimistic person, and I will not say that everything is black. No, I'm a very positive person, and I think that we did a progress, but we need much more to do for the right direction.
My name is Sofia Anna, and I am a student in 6th grade of Aravella Primary School. Mrs. Zachariou, what is the most pressing environmental issue nowadays?
From my point of view, I shouldn't say that there is one pressing environmental issue. It's very important to understand that all the environmental and sustainable development issues are complex issues, and they are connected in a very systemic way. I can't isolate one issue and say that this is the high priority or this is the most challenging issue that we have to tackle on. But we cannot ignore that climate change, which today is the climate crisis, is a very urgent and very pressing issue. And this is especially in our region, in the Mediterranean region, which is considered a hotspot worldwide for climate crisis, is an issue that we cannot ignore. But talking about climate crisis, if I can say that, it's a very challenging. We cannot see this in isolation with the rest of the issues, because when we are talking about poverty, when we are talking about migration, movement of populations, when we are talking about the reduction or the extinction of biodiversity, when we are talking about political crisis and economical crisis, all those issues, which are environmental and sustainable development issues, are closely related with climate change. But I have an advice to give to you. Environmental issues, we have to see them as a whole, because each issue impacted to other issues. So what we have to have in our mind is that environmental issues are issues that relate with our right to have a quality of life, to have prosperous societies, to have sustainable societies, democratic and healthy and resilient societies. And according to this, every environmental issue should be considered as issue that we have to give and address it as it is, since each environmental issue is very critical.
My name is David. I am from Spain. Dr. Aravella, heard our voice because we do care. Do you think that we will achieve sustainable development among all the countries of the world in the nearest future?
It's a nice question. First of all, sustainable development cannot be achieved by a country, by a group of people, by an organization. Sustainable development, and that's why if you heard about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, where is the global agenda of UN for the next decade until 2030, but from my point of view will be extended till 2050. The last two aims and goals is collaboration, partnerships, and peace. Means that sustainability is the aim of all the countries, of all the nations, of all the people. We cannot succeed and achieve sustainable development without partnerships. That's why when the 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted in 2015 in UN as a flagship of all the nations, the agreement and the work that developed behind these 17 sustainable goals, based on negotiation, on collaboration, and to a consensus amongst all the countries and the nations that we have to work together for achieving sustainable development. In the near future, I'm not so sure that we can talk about sustainable development with a timeline. Sustainable development is something that we have to pursue every day in our life, for the small purposes and the big purposes, for the small vision, for the big vision. It's very, very, important task, and it's not something that is so simple, because when we're talking about sustainable development in Africa, we're talking about issues that are not maybe so pressing for our region in the Mediterranean. Our issues regarding sustainability maybe differs from other countries, from Asia. What I mean by that, sustainability is not abstract, it's very physical term, very concrete term, but it's not easy to achieve because it relates with our quality of life, relates with the change of frame of mind, means that to become better people, to become better citizens, to become these leaders, professionals, the members of the society, that we will work all together for the well-being. This is not something that is ending. This is something that is continuing, and I think that will be the high priority task, not for 2030, which is ending the agenda of UN on SDGs, but will exceed it for 2050. They already start discussing this, and from my point of view will be, for the next 100 years, the most, critical and global agenda for all the nations. So in the near future, what is very important for us is to achieve the small task that we put for integrating sustainable agenda, but it's not enough.
My name is Marcos. I am from Spain. Dr. Aravella, her or boys? Because, yes, we don't care. What is the main objective of the action plan for ESD in the Mediterranean region?
I'm really happy that I can see that that there is a regional plan for ESD, which I have to tell you that I have the honor to chairing the Mediterranean Committee for integrating the Mediterranean ESD action plan. Just to let you know that this action plan has been adapted, the revised one, for ESD Mediterranean Action Plan for 2030, very recently in Cyprus, in the 9th Ministerial Conference for Environment for Europe, where in the framework of this conference took place a Mediterranean high-level meeting where the ministers of education from the Mediterranean countries agreed to work in this direction, to integrate the Mediterranean Action Plan. This the ESD Mediterranean Action Plan is a very ambitious plan, which developed from the countries of the Mediterranean in order to bring all the countries of the Mediterranean to work together for confronting in a more effective way issues of sustainability and environment of sustainability that are pressing for all of us. This plan is a joint plan and is based in a joint vision where all of us, we don't have to work in isolation, but all of us, we are working together because all of us will have to learn from each other. and all of us, we have to take a joint action. So through this plan, we aim to design joint programs of climate change, to see how we will confront more effectively the issues of biodiversity, to give to the kids, to the young generation, a space and give them a voice by including them to all the parts of policy, all the and domains of policy decision making and action. And to be honest, from my point of view, this Mediterranean ESD action plan is a point of reference for many other regions, because it's the first time that the countries of a region work together, sit down and work together and decide that if we are not together, we cannot have a Mediterranean as we want. And something that you have to know is that the slogan under Mediterranean ESD action plan is that our countries is our neighborhood and our Mediterranean is our ecos. And you know what does it mean, ecos, our home. Mm-hmm. So all of us who are living in this region, Mediterranean region, which is our home, and all the countries, we are the neighbors that we have to be together.
Dr. Aravella, hear our voice, because yes, we do care. How do you think we could effectively work on environment and sustainable development issues at school?
We can't say that you have to do this, and this. And of course, working with sustainability in school doesn't mean that you have to make an eco-code or to follow specific measures or specific mandates. What is, from my point of view, sustainability prerequisites for all of us commitment and to want to be engaged in various programs, actions, activities. So there are many opportunities to engage in sustainability issues through the curriculum. You told me before that you did interventions in your schoolyard by creating a smart green garden. This is really very, a smart idea and very aligned with sustainability issues, taking action in the community and collaborating with the professionals, with the local populations, and think what issues you think that are more pressing in your school and what can you do. I mean that it's not something specifically that we would say that if you do this, you will work more effectively with environmental issues. There are many possibilities by actions, ideas, activities, programs, but what is very critical to have in mind, knowledge is not enough. We have to be aware, and the most important is that everything that we are doing for sustainability issues should lead to change, means that to take action, not to be pathetic. Action is very important. And don't think that, but how I will do the change? You know what is the change? The least progress that I'm doing to make better something that was worse. The change, small things, and we are building on this, and we can do the change. Don't forget this. All of us, we are the change, and we are starting by a few things. Knowledge is very important. Knowledge in sustainability issues is not enough. So in the school, You have to be critical. You have to investigate. You have to envision things, and most of all, to be the leaders of your school. And this you can do it with many alternative ways. By an issue that you heard in the TV that is problematic, by a problem in your community, by a problem in your school.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Marian and I am a student in the 7th grade of Școala Gimnazială Comuna Pucheni Mari in Romania. What can we do to make our school greener?
First of all, it's very important to clarify that when we are saying greener, we don't mean just to plant, okay? I mean planting and having a green school and gardens, it's very important. But when we are talking about a greener school, we are talking about a school that from its infrastructure, okay, and the way that the school is organized and operates, will have all these resources that will support the education of the school community to work in this direction. A school can become greener for very minor things, but can be a green school. For example, to use friendly materials that relate with the use of that you use in the learning process. We said the schoolyard to make it better. The green roofs, to use technologies that are based on more friendly environment, to apply processes that has to do with the elimination of waste. You told me that you had a compost in your school, or you are doing recycling. These also are issues that can do your school green. Don't close the green in this label that green has to do with the planting. Planting is very important, but a school to be green, which at the end of the day we can say that means to be a sustainable school, because a green school prepare us to move to this green transition, needs to see the school as a whole, okay?
Dr. Zachariou, I am Mariana Grigoriadou and I am a student in the 6th grade of the 2nd primary school of Yanitsa in Greece. What do you believe? Should we reduce the use of paper, books, notebooks and increase the use of computers in order to protect the environment?
Of course we have to reduce paper, and there are many ways to reduce paper. And I shouldn't say that to increase the use of computers, because we are living in digital era, and we are living in the era of technology. So computer, I think that is the permeates all aspects of our life. We have to have a balance in things. This is my advice. Reducing paper, it's a necessity, because we have to admit that, especially the last decade, and you can see this from your school, or I can say this from my experience in my work, that it was so easy, to waste paper. So paper is the last process of the a mechanism to take the first resources, which has to do with the trees, okay? If we want to protect, our natural resources, we have to take these necessary steps to reduce all these habits that based on waste of natural resources. So reducing paper is a way, but also when I said that we have to have a balance on the issues, is that computer and everything that related with technology I think that is all over in our lives. Also, this is something that we have to think about it in a more critical way. Everything we have to stand, to stop, think, put them in an order, think critically. Computers, we will not live, we will not stay away from computers, we will not stay away from technology. However, keep in mind that computer and technology is not the solution of everything, because our planet and our Earth is very real. Can you imagine increasing the use of technology and computer and be all over and use it everywhere in our life? I'm very afraid that we will see the Earth from Google Earth and we will not know what is Earth in reality.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Iliana Papadopoulou and I am a student in the 5th grade of our school in Greece. From your experience, how can you make students aware of the problems of the environment? Thank you.
If you engage them with the environment, if you give them the opportunity to express their views, how they want to have, how they want to be, the environment, in which planet they want to live, in which world they want to live. To give them the chance to say that I don't like this, I would like to intervene and change it. Students, we addressed this many times in this discussion today, that students are the leaders of tomorrow, are the professionals of tomorrow, are the members of society of tomorrow. So we have to give them the space and the place to express their views, to express their ideas, to express all these things that they like and dislike, but not just to express them, to give them the way, okay, to participate in processes, in activities that will make them to think, propose, and mainly act, intervene to change things.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Viola and I am a student on the 5th grade of Nino Costa School in Italy. Do you think that in the future we need a school subject in our curriculum to teach us a way to recycle as much as possible?
A very interesting question, my Italian friend. I have to admit that I'm not so sure that environmental issues could be a subject. And I'm coming from a country that is one of the leading countries in the European Union that introduced in 2013 the curriculum for environment sustainable development in pre-primary and primary education, not as a subject, but as an interdisciplinary issue. What I want to say by this is that another one subject in the curriculum for recycling, I'm not so sure that is the solution to the problem. And recycling is not just to know, it's not just the knowledge, it's just to think in a different way. So recycling has to do with our views on how we want to be useful for our society and the environment. So recycling means that I am a citizen that wants to have less waste. So before recycling, we have to think first of all that we have to reduce our waste, then to reuse our waste, then to repair our waste, and then to recycle our waste. What I mean by that, first of all, we have to rethink about our consumers' habits and reduce our waste. Recycle is very important, but cannot be a part of a subject. It's a part of pedagogical process that we have to learn on it. And learning on it means learning by doing. And learning by doing means that when I'm in front of something, to take the best decision for me. And the best decision for me as a consumer have to do with waste and how I reduce my waste and see my real needs as a consumerism.
Dr. Zachariou, I'm a Manos and I'm a student in grade 5 in 15th primary school of Heraklion, Crete, Greece. What are some activities or ways we can take up as a school to promote environmental consciousness in our local communities?
Manos, I really like your question because you are making special reference to local communities. One main principle for environmental education and education for sustainable development is to think globally by acting locally. What does it mean this at the end of the day? It means that everything starts from our local context. How I improve my local community. So what can we do as schools? First of all, we have to see our schools as a community of learning, which is open in the community and is collaborating with the local populations, the indigenous people. So, first of all, we can take the initiative to investigate a local issue where it's a problem for the community, and work together with the parents, with professionals, with the local authorities to work together to solve it. You can take a leading role in campaigns to make the local community aware on a specific issue. For example, how to minimize their waste, or how to use alternative means of transportation. Have in mind that local communities, we are the local community. Our school is at the center of this community. So everything that we decide to take as actions that will improve our school, we have to see them in the wider context of the local community, because what do we want at the end of the day is to live in local communities that are viable, sustainable and prosperous.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Zoe. I am Hara. We are students in grade 5 of 15 primary school of Heraklion, Greece. Is there a way for European schools to collaborate and set an example with specific green actions?
I think that e-twinning project is a great and exemplar practice of reference on how schools, European schools, can work together and to promote specific actions related with the protection and conservation of the environment. I can share, I'm sure that many of you have to share a lot of examples through your work in e-twinning. But I think that collaboration is the first and the last thing, and I emphasized many times in this interview today, is the first and the last thing for creating a better world. Many projects can give us this possibility, they are giving us this opportunity, like other European projects as eco-schools, as new and journalists for the environment, and of course the biggest opportunity that we have as European countries and as education systems is the opportunities that Erasmus program is giving to us to develop joint projects, to work together, to exchange not only information, but exchange, the mobility that is giving us to meet other cultures, other civilizations, to see that we have common problems on environment sustainability, and we have common ideas, and we can share our ideas. So I think that every opportunity that is given to us from the Erasmus and from many other networks of collaboration in European Union is an opportunity to work together.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Maria Papas, and I'm a student in the 5th grade of Afra School in Greece. Which country is considered to have managed to combine with the objectives of sustainability with the school? Thank you.
I'm not so sure that we can say, in this definite way that there is a school that manages sustainability. Sustainability, first of all, you are not saying that I reach to sustainability, because every day and through, the years, something that we need to rework it, to reconsider it, to change it, to make it better. What we can say is that many schools in many countries, they have sustainability at the core of their every school life. Even this has to do with the curricula, even this has to do with the learning and pedagogical approaches, with infrastructures, interventions in schools. We have to keep in mind that many schools did an important progress in this step, in sustainability, but of course, sustainability is an issue that we will work on continuously, because it's part of our life, it's part of our identity, it's part of the demand to living in a planet that will ensure to us sustainability. And sustainability has to do to live in balance and harmony with nature, to take care of myself, take care of others, and take care of the environment. In this process, that this is an aim that we will continuously working on. We did a progress, but we need many things. Many things remains to be done.
Dr. Zachariou, I am Riccardo and I am a student in the 5th grade of Nino Costa School in Italy. In your opinion, will we be able to decrease pollution on the Earth in the near future?
We have to be optimistic, because if we are not optimistic, I think that we will lose a game. There are many measures to reduce pollution: air pollution, waste pollution, soil pollution. Because pollution is not in one specific field, or in one domain. Many measures are taken, and you can see this, for example, in the domain of transportation. We are discussing now that we have to, till 2030, if I'm not mistaken, that all the cars will be hybrid. This is change that will, it's a transition that will change things from my point of view for better. Or to use our buses, or to use our food, or to use alternative ways, means of transportation, like bicycle. These are some measures that can avoid, to increase the pollution, or the recycling, or the various ways to reuse and repair various things that will minimize the waste. All these things are things that or these measures are measures to the right direction to decrease the pollution. But this, again, is something that we can say that has an end. Those are tasks that we will, are tasks that, because are related with our quality of life, will be always a priority. In the near future, the country's government, European Union, the European Green Deal is the most, important document in Europe in order to achieve the neutrality of Europe till 2030, till 2050. But to achieve this neutrality means to take very serious and concrete measures. We are taking measures. We are in the right direction, but of course we need, more. And not just, it's not enough to have the measures. It's very important to follow and apply the measures. And this is something that depends from us.
We would like to thank you, Dr. Aravella Zachariou. Is there anything else you would like to conclude?
I just wanted to remark that I'm really happy that I had the chance to interact with you today, and through your voices and the questions that your mate did, based on this project that you are developing together, it wasn't so important for me to express my views on the things. What was most important, and the most important, is that you gave me the chance to realize that the future generation, you are so skeptical, you are so critical, you are so active. And meeting young people as you and your mates from other countries, I think that is the most promising and most positive thing for our planet. That you can be the change, and you can be the change that we want. A better generation, and a generation that could envision its existence with all the other living things in the world. And thank you for being here today.